Hi guys, I'm Miriam and I'm going to show you how to sharpen a knife using Jasper stone. Bought a new stone. It's from Gabriel from America. I'm in Holland. I had a good chat with him and I was looking for a polishing stone for quite a while. Didn't know what I should buy, and well, because I'm making razors of all of my knives, I was just thinking, well, should I buy anything? But then this came along. It's, well, pretty hard to open actually. I'll just cut this one out. Wow, here it is. Wow, look at this. It's so smooth. So smooth. I don't know which side is smoother than the other one. Maybe I asked him to make both sides smooth because I use the Naniwa 400 and 1000 a lot, so I didn't really need the 1000 grit polishing side or sharpening side. And I think that this side is more coarse. So I will be just doing, well, take a look. I think this one is fairly sharp. Let's dull it. Let's see if it's still sharp now. Well, it goes pretty fast. Okay, I'll just restore it. And I'll be using the 400 grit and 1000 grit Naniwa. Get my strop out of the way because it will get wet and I don't want that, obviously. Well, just restore the edge. It's a pretty easy profile because it's fairly straight, the Wusthof. So I don't have a lot of work with the blade because I can make it fairly straight so I can make a fast run of this sharpening session. Let's go to the 1000 and have a quick look if the blade cuts again on the now wet paper. Well, pretty good. Pretty good. Let's refine it a little bit on the 1000 grit. Making a good slurry. A little bit in the top that I didn't hit completely. There it is. So then set the bevel in a straight line, almost cutting my stone. I'm a little bit enthusiastic because of the new stone. So I want to work fast, maybe not the best idea. So now the bevel should be set pretty good. Let's have a check. On the paper I just used, this paper is pretty wet, so I don't think it's very easy to tell now, but well, this is fairly good edge. And now let's see what happens with the Jasper. Thank you, Gabriel. It fits perfectly, just like the Nani was. What was the finer side? Well, or they're just about the same, or it doesn't make a lot of difference. And I will take a Nagura to get a little bit slurry on, which develops pretty fast. Okay, that's the sharpness of the blade now. It doesn't stick, it doesn't run in the hairs. A little bit, just a little bit. Okay, see what happens. You can hear this makes a lovely sound. Well, actually it's dropping now only. Well, let's see what happens. Gabriel told me that it should cut very fast. I don't know if he told me that on the polishing side, but we'll see. It actually makes a good sound. I have the camera in a different position now. So you can see what I'm doing. And it feels really good to use the stone. It shouldn't dish out because it's fairly hard. And Gabriel told me that I can use it for years without dishing out. So that's probably the point where I thought, well, that should be a good stone for me. And I really like the sound. I can feel the abrasives on it. It's almost gone now, so maybe I will make some new. Okay, but first I will test where I'm at now, using the same little bit wet paper. Well, I'm curious now what happens. Oh, it's okay. That was against the grain of the paper. It's wet, but still it cuts pretty easily. Okay, I should get a dry one and see what happens. Against the grain of the paper, it's just a little bit hard now. So it's not razor sharp yet, but let's test it another way. Okay, still some work. Okay, let's continue. And maybe I will just try to take in a few passes and then see what happens. You can feel it works. You can feel it grinds the metal, even though it's pretty smooth. And I can use all of the blade here. It's a fairly straight profile, so it's pretty easy to sharpen. And the stone is pretty wide, which is good. And the other side. And because I won't dish it, I will just sharpen at any point I like, what feels good. And I don't have to be wary of cutting into the stone because I know it's so hard, it just won't hit the stone or cut the stone. And if I would use a Naniwa 10,000, well, this should be a very scary endeavor. Very, very. I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm still gonna use it. I think you know what I mean. Oh, I really like the sound. I can use it any way I like. It doesn't really matter. All the technique I've learned not to cut in a stone, it just does, I don't need it. I can do whatever I like. And it feels good. It really feels good. So maybe I will just bring back the technique a little bit just to show you guys what works good. And now always take the same angle and just drop it. I know this motion like, well, I can close my eyes if I like, because I've done it so much for so long times. Okay, well, that should be long enough, I hope. And let's see what the paper does now, the wet one. There it is. Let's get the dry one. I still have wet hands. There it is. Against the grain. I like it. Going to razor sharp now. And this is the first time that I'm using this stone. Never done it. If this would be my Nanina 10,000, I will know the exact point where to stop. But I just don't know it now. And I've been just sharpening until 1000 grit. So usually I would take a few passes at 3000 grit, but I just, well, ignored it. And still, I'm going to razor sharp. Can work pretty fast, you don't have to think about cutting in the stone. And I'm not really sure what grit I'm working on, so there's a lot of factors I don't really understand now. And still, I'm going to a razor sharp blade, I'm quite sure. Let's use another technique, see how it works. Also, because the stone is pretty wide, I can make contact with all of the blade with every technique I like, and I really like it. I really like it. I can still feel the abrasives a little bit. And I just took my finger on the blade and I felt it is getting razor sharp now. Okay. I will just end with a stropping session. Giving it a few strokes. For maybe about, well, let's say 30 strokes, 15 on each side. And then it should be fine. Let's see. Well, This is razor sharp. Against the grain of the paper, it's no problem. Going slow. Razor sharp Wusthof. I'm going to have fun with this one again.